Released in South Korea on February 17, 2016, the film Dongju, The Portrait of a Poet, follows the life of a young and now famous poet, Young Dongju, who is imprisoned by the Japanese government during their imperialistic rule over Korea. Directed by Lee Jonik, best known for directing and producing The King and the Clown, the film is a true masterpiece. It focuses on the side of the Korean independence movement that is often overshadowed by more violent methods of resistance, but one that nonetheless had a long-lasting impact in Korean culture. It stars Kang Han-yul as the poet Young Dongju, Park Jung-min as Dongju's more aggressive and outspoken friend and cousin Song Mong-gyu, Kim In-woo as the lead detective, and Choi Hee-soo as Kyumi. Young Dongju was born on December 30th, 1917, and passed away at the young age of 27 on February 16, 1945. He began writing poetry at a young age and was unable to publish his poetry early on because of Japanese censorship. After studying at what is now known as Yonsei University, he went to Japan to study literature and was soon after arrested and imprisoned. Following his death, he left over 100 poems. His work titled The Sky, the Wind, the Stars, and the Poem was published following his death during his time imprisoned. However, his work wasn't widely accessed until after Korea gained independence due to Japan's restriction of the usage of the Korean language during their occupation. His poetry notably includes reflections and disapproval of Japanese colonialism. Its long-lasting impact is rooted in its ability to capture the pain that Korea and its people face while being oppressed. Throughout the film, we see that despite others telling him otherwise, specifically his father, Dongju believes that he can have a meaningful impact by solely using his words. Much of the film focuses on the contrasting personas of Dongju and Song Mong-gyu. Cutting through different periods in their lives, we can see how their aspirations differ and transfer to thoughtful and radical actions, respectively. The cinematic choices in the film really help to emphasize the non-violent and more introspective style of resistance. The entirety of the film being in black and white allows for the audience to pay close attention to the thoughtful actions of Young Dongju. It also helps to emphasize the general state of helplessness and uncertainty during the time. Dongju's real poetry is embedded throughout the film, underscoring the poet's true persona and not just a mimicry for cinematic purposes. The Portrait of a Poet is a must-see for those who want to gain a less common perspective on the Korean independence movement and learn more about the life of the talented Young Dongju. He once said that poetry is also good enough to express your ideas. When it uncovers the truth living in people's hearts, literature gains power, and that power gathered together can change the world. The Young Dongju Literature House, located in Seoul, features exhibits about his life. This monument has Forward, one of his iconic verses inscribed on it. It reads, "Wishing not to have so much as a speck of shame toward heaven until the day I die, I suffered, even when the wind stirred the leaves.